Hey, this is Chris, and this is another exciting episode of the Easy EMT. Today is day one of our Master Cardiology class, and today we're going to talk about some of the basics of the heart itself. So your heart is basically two pumps in one. All right, your heart is about the size of your closed fist. It lies over to the left side of your chest in the mediastinum. So those two pumps, the top pump are called the atria, and the bottom pump are called the ventricles. All right, so let's trace a drop of blood through the heart. All right, but before we start tracing a drop of blood, let's learn a little bit about the material that makes up the heart. So the sac that surrounds the heart is called the pericardium, and this is very important for us later on. We'll start learning about EKGs because you can have an infection called pericarditis. The actual heart muscle itself is called myocardium. All right, this is going to be very, very important, especially when we start talking about heart attacks, because they're called AMI, or acute myocardial infarction. We're talking about damage to the heart muscle itself. Now, inside the heart, the valves and the lining and all that is made of a material called endocardium. So let's take a look at our heart, and let's actually trace a drop of blood all the way through the circulatory system into the heart. So blood actually comes into the heart via the inferior or the superior vena cava. It comes into the right atrium. The right atrium fills with blood. The next thing that's going to happen is a valve is going to compress, and this is going to be the tricuspid valve. Once that tricuspid valve is going to let blood then go in to the right ventricle. The right ventricle is then going to compress, and it's going to send blood all the way into the lungs, and it's going to go into the valve. It's going to send up into the lungs is going to be called the pulmonary valve. Pulmonary valve goes in there, and there's the O2 and CO2 exchange that happens in the lungs, and then all that blood's got to come back into the heart, and it's going to flow through the pulmonary vein, and it comes into the left atria. It comes into the left atria, and that blood fills up again in that atria, and then it is compressed. The atria compresses, and it sends blood through the mitral valve, and the mitral valve sends that blood into the largest part of your heart, which is the left ventricle. The left ventricle then it contracts, and it's going to send blood up through the aortic valve, and the aortic valve is going to send it up through the aorta and around the rest of the circular system in your body, through all the places in the body that your body needs blood flow to. Before it actually goes up to the aorta, it's actually going to send blood to the coronary arteries, and the coronary arteries is going to give the actual blood flow directly to the heart that it needs to be able to perfuse the heart so it'll function correctly. You are going to probably get a test, and you're going to be asked the order in which the valves are. All right? So the way to remember the valves, and I know it's really silly, but I'm a silly guy, is toilet paper my ass, which is TPMA, which stands for tricuspid. All right? So pulmonary. Then you're going to have your mitral valve, and A is going to be your aortic valve. And that's basically our cardiovascular system as far as tracing a drop of blood completely to the heart. All right, tomorrow we're going to be talking about all of the different chemistry that makes up the heart, and also about automaticity, how the heart actually creates its own electricity. And it's very important when we start talking about EKGs, because all an EKG is actually a tracing of the electrical activity in the heart. But it can tell us a lot about the mechanical side of what's going on. So guys, tomorrow is going to be all about some chemistry of the heart, and right after that we'll get all up into EKGs. Hope you're enjoying the Master Cardiology class. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, always put them in the comments. See you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.